How to protect your assets with a pre-death deed, like a ladybird deed or a transfer on death deed, for example. These are different than a warranty deed. This doesn't assign current ownership to someone else. It serves a different purpose, and they can help in a variety of ways. One way that they can help is they keep your house, typically, out of the probate process so that the money can pass directly to the trust or the people named in such deed, so that they don't have to sit around and wait for it to go through the probate process, which means they could sell it immediately, they could live in it immediately, they could turn it and start renting it out immediately. They don't have to wait, and that could save time and money, because a lot of the time, a home is the only asset that really drives a probate process, requires a probate process. A lot of people, if they don't, they've got their IRAs with beneficiaries, their bank with joint tenants with right of survivorship or beneficiaries, etc. And they're just like, the only thing that I don't have full control over is my house. My spouse died. I thought we owned it together. Why don't I just get it? Well, because you were not joint tenants with right of survivorship or community property with right of survivorship. You just owned it as a tenant in common, which is the default in Texas, which means it has to go through probate typically. So you can avoid that with a transfer on death deed, with the ladybird deed. You can watch another one of our videos where we go through some of the differences and similarities between the ladybird deed and the transfer on death deed. But that's one way, is to help keep it out of probate. That can preserve some of your assets from being spent on attorneys and government and court costs and stuff. And another way is the MERP, the Medicaid Estate Recovery Plan, which if you, let's say, go into a nursing home, and if the government paid for you, gave you through Medicaid and paid for your $6,000-$8,000 a month stay, and let's say you're in there for 2 years, let's say it's $150,000 to $200,000. Well, your estate has to pay that back to the government unless you structure it properly. You've got a ladybird deed or a transfer on death deed, which I believe both right now presently, and law could change at any point in time, and my interpretation could be different. But I believe that both of those should presently avoid the MERP, the Medicaid Estate Recovery Program. And that means the government can't force you to sell that to pay back the $150,000 to $200,000. So you got the government to pay for you, and now that asset gets to pass outside of your estate, and so it's not subject to government recovery. Isn't that cool? Call us. We'll help you talk about your asset protection plan and what you need based on your circumstances. I'm Mike Massey. I've helped over 1,000 families with estate plans, asset protection, etc. Love to have a conversation with you. Mike Massey Law, mytxwills.com, mytxwills.com. Thank you.